Yes.
My producer, he says he has a funny joke about romance in France because everybody thinks that romance is the biggest success and biggest audience that I have in fact. And he says that if all the person who hates the movie have seen it, we would be millionaires. But to hate something you have not seen is, I think, something important. So I think that movie can be important without a good audience. In fact, I usually have some private joke about audience, and so audience is like just people who come, and I say that movie have not really made to have audience, they are made to be, and just somewhere, and the alien company have to make audience because what else?
So you are like Nietzsche saying, I only shoot a movie for one viewer. The rest can go to hell.
Yes.
That's Godard says.
Okay, Peter, then Rick later. Yes.
So I'll follow up from that other question. What would you say was a key moment in your education in film? If you look back and say, yes, there's something that really helped me in making the films I wanted to make.
Well, in a way, it's not so far from what Catherine said, because when my first shock was when I was 15, and it was Pierrot le Fou. But because, probably it was a shock, because before that I have only seen, les gendarmes à Saint-Tropez, or les canons de Navarone, or the Ten Commandments. So it's true, it's not a joke, So I thought, movie was just to go to flirt or to eat ice cream. I had no respect for movie at all. So Pierrot le Fou was a nice title. And I was walking with a friend of mine on a big boulevard in Brussels. It was Saturday night. And I said, look at that title, it's a nice title, but it was forbidden for the people who were less than 16. Okay, and I was 15 and I was small and looking like 12. So I said, let's try, maybe, who knows. And the cashier didn't ask for identity card. And we entered. And I said, that's also cinema, that's cinema. So I went out of the cinema, I said, I want to make movies. Then in fact what happened, and it was very strange, is all the other movies I saw for at least 2 years, after that, I was just looking to see the same Pierrot, the same thing. And they were totally different. So I reject, maybe I saw during those 2 years very good movie that I totally reject, because my convention of a good movie, it was just the other way around, that people who are looking for very commercial movie and who don't get the other. I was just looking for the same thing, which was also a lack of freedom. So then what happened, I went to New York, and by chance someone brought me to the Anthology Film Archive. And that was my second déclic. And I saw non-narrative movie. And after that, I felt free to do whatever I want. So those were the two highlight points. I was not, I don't know if it was my education, but like you say, it was my liberation, that's for sure. And then I felt free.
Yes, in my time or so, I was in this awful little town, French provincial one, Nord, just in the Poitou-Charentes, and which is just the siege of assurance, and it's a very, very boring family also. And for the cine club in the school, they play the first movie I never seen was the night of Forain, the man of Nuit des Forains of Bergman.
I don't know what to say.
circle.
Class.
Circus.
No.
It's the night of the Lego.
No.
That's Lego.
Of the people who work in circus. Of Bergman, it's a Bergman movie with Harriet Anderson. That I know.
Okay.
And then the second one was Viridiana from Buñuel. And these two movies, for me, it was a real life. It was my mental life. So I want to become a movie maker and also a writer. And I think that to make movie, it's just to invent life and world, in fact, because the real life is very boring and it's not satisfying. But shooting movie and invent life is really a very, very big passion and pleasure.
You are still, is it still your thought nowadays, or was it
More and more. And also I think that when you shoot movie, you enter a language which is better, closer from the reality and the mental perfection of world, because I think that the image you can accumulate sense. So it's like an ideogram, so you enter a new monde where you can understand that one thing and the opposite can exist in the same time, and that you can do in the movie. So you can make many
in philosophy? We do it also for many years.
But in movie you can do that like...
Show it.
Yes, you can show it. It's artisanal. It's an experience like in Chile. Yes.
Okay, Rick.
Oh,
Yes,
that,
I see.
that was my question actually about philosophy. Half of our coursework here is really focused on theory and philosophy. And I was just curious if either what philosophers you enjoy reading, or if any of them ever inspire your final output. If you ever think about it while you're shooting or anything like that.
Please lie. For the sake of the students, lie.
Qu'est-ce que tu
Because I stopped to study very quickly, as I know what I want to do when I was 12. When I was 16, I just want to leave my horrible little provincial city and go to Paris, and then become somebody the people study and not study my business. And I was also very, very good in mathematics and not in French, because I made many faulty orthograph. And I pass my baccalaureate is more on mathematics one than philosophy one. I read philosophy just now, and the philosophy I prefer it's Seneca, in fact. Yes.
Seneca,
I think
that's
that
great.
because it's very, very, very simple.
Stoic
Yes,
philosopher
and
that you can really
when
need.
you are
Yes.
on a set, you have to be stoic.
Yeah.
If you are stoic, nothing happens. You be always safe at the end of the day.
That's a very good philosopher. But I know Chantal can answer this too. Chantal Deleuze was not one of them.
Well, I went out of school when I was 15, so
Not school, out of school.
out of school when
Not
I was
school.
15. And I read but very little of philosophy, but it was because I read some Levinas, for example, Emmanuel Levinas, and I read him, and it's very hard to read. You have to reread the same sentence a lot, because since I don't have the background, he's referring to a lot of people I haven't read, so it's hard. But because I was following his, every Saturday, I went to the synagogue with my cousin, and he was with kids all around him. They were like that, the kids were like that, he was sitting here, and the adults were like that.